All right, in this video I'll be talking about the neuron, and first I'll start with talking about the structures. So we got the dendrites, the cell body, nucleus, the axon, myelin sheath, the axon terminal, and then the synapse will be here. So this is going to be where signals come in, and this is where signals exit. So you first have the dendrites, and that's going to be picking up signals and receiving them. Then you have the cell body, which is just takes care of the whole cell, gets the nutrients, and keeps it running functional. And then you have the axon, where electrical signals will come down and pass through the myelin sheath, which is made out of adipose tissue, fat tissue, which will allow the electric signal to speed up and get to the end of the neuron faster. And then down here you have the axon terminal, where the electrical signal will end, and at the end and at the axon terminal you'll have chemical messengers that will then go out into the synapse, and those chemicals will then be picked up by dendrites of another neuron, and it'll create just a chain.
I'll talk about the different types of neurons. So your first type is going to be your sensory neurons, and those are going to be picking up just what your body is picking up, the senses, and they'll be sending electrical signals to your central nervous system and letting you know what's around you, what's your surroundings, and etc. Next is going to be your motor neurons, and those are going to be sending signals down from your central nervous system and your brain to your motor neurons, and that's going to be how muscle action happens. So it'll go from your brain down your spinal cord, from your motor neurons, then into your muscles, and that'll tell your muscles which ones to fire, which ones to not. Then your third type is going to be interneurons, and that's going to be connecting your sensory neurons to your motor neurons. It's the great connector in this system. So now, after that, you have two different ways that neurons will communicate. That'll be electrical and chemical, as I said earlier. So the electrical signal will happen in the neuron, and that will start from the dendrites going down the axon through the myelin sheath to the axon terminal, and that's where then your chemical messengers, or your chemicals, will then go out. So like your dopamine, your serotonin, your acetylcholine, that's where those will go out, and that's how they communicate. So how neurons or how you learn functions, and like how neurons adapt. Neurons, after repeated functions, they will get bigger. So that's where kind of muscle memory comes into play. And so the more you do an action, the more you use certain neurons, those will grow and just get bigger. And if you don't, they'll shrink. So yeah.